Hey there, Ollie Appleseed here with Rutabaga Ruth, and today we're going to take composting to the next level and we're going to do vermiculture. And vermiculture is done with worms. So worms, you say, where do you get worms? Well, we got it from Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. You see the chiseled good looks? You could go ahead and buy worms from a bait shop, but you'd have to buy a whole lot of little cups of worms to get the amount you need, because you need at least 1,000 worms to get you where you have enough to compost a pound of food per week, which is what you want. So worms are real tricky, and as far as getting them here, they have to be shipped 2 days. And they came in over the weekend, so that was a challenge in and of itself. Fortunately, I live 5 minutes away. Okay, so here is the worms as they came in, and I dumped them. You can see they're in there. So now I'm going to add compost from my kitchen. Ooh, green potato. Oh, actually, what used to be a lemon. And we're gonna let these guys. They advised me to let them leave them with the light on for the first 24 hours, so they get accustomed to going to the bottom of the tub. So I'm going to do that. And right now, I got them in a shady area on my back deck. You saw in the prior video that I had put them in this container. What it is a couple of food grade buckets. I drilled here, holes all the way around, and then I have another bucket that's going to catch all the worm water underneath. And then this bucket, it has holes on the bottom. Can you see that, Rutabaga Ruth?
Got a worm sticking out.
Yep, they're on the lamb. But I originally put the holes here, but you see there's a rim here when I stuck it in. Whoop. So I had to go back and drill more holes all the way around the top because it went all the way down in there. So I went with food grade because I figured that'd be healthier for the worms. And I'm gonna reach in here. Oh yeah, red wigglers, the Cadillacs of worms. And these are actually called, these particular worms are European red wigglers, and they're pronounced Eisenia foetida. Eisenia foetida, like Makuna Hatata. Eisenia foetida. And there's actually a couple other different varieties of worms in here. They basically are, some of them dig down deeper and some of them come up higher, and probably ideally we would have a darker container because worms obviously like to live in the dark, so we keep them in a dark space, but this is what we had available. Organic lettuce from my garden at home. So basically you rip up newspapers and you soak them in water for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you wring them out like a sponge. You set them in the bottom here, and then I got my worms that were packed in peat and put them on top, and then I added scraps. And they got little teeth, so it's better if you cut it down. Clearly I did not follow that suggestion, but anyway, we'll keep feeding them. We want to make sure they can consume everything that they have within a week. What this is going to end up doing for us is it's going to, I'm going to quote you from Uncle Jim's, it gives you 7 times richer in phosphates, 5 times richer in nitrogen, and 11 times richer in potash than your average lawn soil is what this will produce. So the moisture that falls to the bottom, that's called, I call it worm water. That people call it a variety of things. That's from their excrement, and it makes the water really, really rich in fertilizers. So you would mix that 1 part worm water to 10 parts water. So if you have a cup of worm water, you would want to have 10 cups of water. And the reason you would have to dilute it is it's very, very rich, and it's great for flowers, vegetables, fruits, whatever. Also, the solids that will be produced in this from the worms is what they call as worm castings, and again, that's another great source of we got a cricket in here. Holy cats. But it produces really great nutrients for your soil, and it's organic, and worms are really prolific. They will have lots and lots of babies, and that's what you kind of want to have happen, because what you would do as they produce more worms is you would have another bucket such as this to put on top so they can work their way up into the next level. So it's almost like beehives, but with worms. So red wigglers, the Cadillacs of worms. Get out and garden.